Good morning and welcome back to my little kitchen here at Mossy Acres. My name is Rhonda and I'm so glad you've joined me today. We're going to do a couple little things. I got to get them done quick because when the husband gets home today, we are headed to camp. So this morning I've got some frozen tomatoes that I want to make some ketchup out of. I don't want to make a whole lot of ketchup because we don't use it all that much, but I do want to get some on the shelves for when we do need it. So this is what we're going to do. Come on along. So I've got my frozen tomatoes here, and I'm just going to put some warm water on them and get them to unthaw. And then I also have some fresh ones just in case I do need a little more, but let's get those unthawed so that we can get them processed. Okay, so my basket of tomatoes that I've been picking like all week long while, the work week, I just took a look at them and there's some in there that are not looking so good. So I'm going to go through them, see what's good, what's bad, and I think we're going to have to process these today also because they're not going to last over the weekend while I'm gone. So here we go. I've got a whole colander full of tomatoes that I'm going to go through and see which ones are good and which ones maybe we might have to feed to the neighbor's chickens, and we'll get those in the pot too. And if you're wondering, do I use a certain kind of tomato? I do not. This year I planted cherry tomatoes just because they're prolific. They produce from the time they start until the first frost kills them. I also planted beefsteak and I planted Roma. So I'm going to use all three, and I just cut them up so it makes it easier on my Vitamix blender. And let me tell you, if you don't have a high output blender, that is something you definitely want to invest in. I had a very nice blender, but it couldn't pulverize all the seeds and the skins, so I upgraded to the Vitamix blender, and I'll never go back. It is it's like my father always said, when you have the correct tool, it makes the job so much easier. So let's cut up these tomatoes and blend them up in the Vitamix blender. So we haven't cooked them yet. We haven't done anything. We're just going to blend them up until everything's pulverized. Then we'll start cooking down. And of course, I need my glasses to see, but then you can't see me because the light is shining off on my glasses. So we don't want that. So little ones like this, I don't even worry about it. The cherries, I'm just throwing them in. There's no need to take the center out of these. These beefsteak, I will take the core out of, but the Romas and the cherries, it's no problem. It'll grind it right up. I do like to just give them a little chop so they're all kind of the size of the cherries. Just makes it easier on the blender. Because when you pay that much money for something, you don't want to mess it up. Okay. Sometimes they get away from me. So as you can see, I've got the blender full. I'm going to grind it up. I put it on like a 3 to get it started, just so they start, going down and getting chopped up. And then I'm going to put it up onto like a 7 or a 10, and I'm going to let it go for about 10 seconds, and that will disintegrate all the seeds and the skins. Be right back. And as you can see, it makes it a lovely pink color because it froths it all up. But now I'm going to put it onto the stove, and I'm going to get it started to simmer down. I definitely prefer using the frozen tomatoes just because in the unthawing process, they release a lot of their water. And don't forget, that water, it's just tomato juice. So I am going to save that because that would be great in a soup. I'm going to strain it through this 4 jars strainer and funnel. I love this set. It comes with one for regular jars and one for largemouth jars, and it gives you all your headspace calculations there for you, so it's super easy. And then it comes with the strainer. It makes it a no-brainer. I just love this set. So let's get that juice and let's get it into this jar. So this juice does still have some seeds in it and maybe a little pieces of skin, so I definitely want to strain that out. Not that it would hurt me or anyone else, but I just want to do that. got a good bit. Go. Nice thing is you can just shake your strainer. Get that to go down through. But yeah, that would be great in some like beef vegetable soup, which I've been dying to make. I just haven't had the time with my work schedule and right now with canning all these tomatoes. We are getting to the end of tomato season and the end of summer, which really makes me not real happy. I mean, it'll be nice. Winter is a nice downtime for me. You know, I'm not canning as much. I'm still going to be canning soups, stews, things like that. I've got some meat in the freezer that needs to be dealt with before the next deer comes in. So I definitely will be taking care of that and making probably some venison vegetable soup. So you stay tuned for that and we'll do it together. Okay, so that's been cooking down for probably about a half an hour. And then I wanted to speed up the process because, again, hubby's coming home and we're headed out of town. So what I did was I added a can of tomato paste to help thicken it up. And then I added about a tablespoon of salt. And I added about 1/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. And I'm going to I added like just a dash of pepper and just maybe a teaspoon of cinnamon. I know it sounds weird, but yes, cinnamon's in it. I added 1 small onion that I pureed, and I added probably about a clove or 2 of garlic. And then I'm going to add, and again, this is all to your taste, so keep tasting it. Add a little bit at a time and taste it because you want it to your taste. You don't really have, just use these ingredients, but do it to where you get to what you like, in the consistency and taste that your family likes. And then I'm going to put in about 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. And I'm actually going to add like half of it and taste it and then add the other half. Because if you add too much, now it's too sweet for you. And I'm diabetic, and so I want to be real careful. I love the store-bought ketchup, and I'd still be buying it if I could eat it. But it spikes my blood sugar so badly that I get very, very sick. So I'm going to make my own, and it's going to have way less sugar. So let me add this, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, so this is what we've got now. And I did add only half of that sugar. So half of 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar I added. And I did add a dash more vinegar and a little bit more onion powder. I put a dash of onion powder in it and a dash of garlic powder. And it's where I like it. I tasted it against Heinz. Heinz, to me, really doesn't taste like tomato. So I got this where I like it, so I'm happy, and I think you should give this recipe a try and see what you think, and let me know. I'm going to put it into little jelly jars so that I have lots on the shelf, and that way I'm not using a whole bunch at one time. I'm just going to put it in a jar like this. This is my salt. I have salt in this one. But I'm going to put it in little jars because I don't want it to go bad in the fridge. I don't use it that fast. So, again, as always, follow me for more content. And I thank you for coming on this journey with me on learning how to make things ourselves and make it healthier and more nutritious for our family. God bless you.